Still, what's good with y'all? It's your boy Jiggy, and today we have a reaction to my girl, black activist, my soul sister, number one soul sister, Rachel Dolezal. She was, years ago. I had to bring it back up though. She was the NAACP President. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was top dog. She earned the stripes. Just being an activist, working for the black man, making sure that her fellow people succeed and prosper in this world. You mean ain't nothing more beautiful than a black woman that want to see a black king, succeed and lead. So I ain't got no problem with that. There happens to be a confusion and a problem, and one of the biggest problems and confusions was this black lady happened to not actually be a black lady, and she happened to be white. Now her name is Rachel Dolezal. So let's see what she has to say for herself. God damn it.
Dolezal, good morning. Nice to see you.
Good, nice to see you too.
You've had a busy week. All the headlines, top trending item on Twitter. You resigned your post at the NAACP, and you've started a discussion on race and what it means in this country. Did this come as a surprise to you, or did you always expect the lid would be blown off your story at some point?
The timing of it was a shock. I mean, wow. The timing was completely unexpected. As to the second question,
First off, so you had a fucking time limit on this? You like, yo, if we can basically like get this shit for like 3 solid years, it don't really matter once it come out. We just need a total of 3 years. That's like almost 1,000-something days. And this bitch was like, damn, we got to 700. That was totally unexpected. They figured out in 700 days, these niggas are smart. After 2 years and some change, y'all done figured out that a bitch is actually Polish. My parents came straight from Poland. And Austria and shit. And yeah. I'm Austrian and Polish. But deep down, she had one black dick that just changed her whole life. She went to like a Tribe Called Quest concert in the 90s, and them niggas was like, yo. And she was like, oh my God. Look at the people, the energy, the connection, the vibe. And some nigga named Raheem or like Abdul or somebody walked up to her like,
my milk of magnesia. Oh, after the devil made you, he broke the mold.
excuse me, could you tap that white girl behind you? She went there and Raheem knocked them block off that pussy, nigga, and she ain't never been the same since. And she just so slowly manifest that shit, like slowly got to like, okay, I'm dating a black guy. Told my parents they disowned me, so Raheem's family's really nice though. They invited me to the cookout and they're like really nice to me. His sisters are really cool and like we drink and like they're really cool. I love black people. Oh my God. I went to Howard. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that bitch, she definitely got a black experience, and she said, this is it. Ain't nothing better than ain't nothing better.
as to the second question, I did feel that at some point I would need to address the complexity of my identity.
Let me just, we can't talk about the big picture that you have created without talking about the small picture first.
Right.
Let me just ask you the question in simple terms again, because you've sent mixed signals over the years. Are you an African-American woman?
I identify as black.
You identify as black. Let me put a picture up of you in your early 20s, though. And when you see this picture, is this an African-American woman, or is that a Caucasian woman?
That lady is from the islands and hills of Caucasus, the mountains of Caucasus. For thine shall rule over the prairie of Ireland. Pale-faced and you shall be. For thine... I don't know why I feel like that's how niggas talk over there. back in like the 12th century, like it's like straight Hobbit talk, straight fucking Lord of the Rings talk. Like everybody is the Shire and shit. Like she looks like fucking what's that girl name? Reese Witherspoon. She looks like fucking Gwyneth Paltrow. She looks like everybody but Rachel Dolezal or whatever fucking her name is, man. Rach. My girl Rachel. Boy, that black dick was good. Look at that. Look at her face. And look at that was some good black dick. Y'all know it was. That was some good black dick. That was magnifique. She said, this, I hate me.
That's not in my early 20s, but...
That's a little younger, I guess? Yeah.
I think I was 16 in that picture.
Is she a Caucasian woman or an African-American woman?
Why is he talking to her in third person? Is she a Caucasian person? I just want to know, whatever age, that girl in that picture, is she black or is she white? Because if she is black, Mariah Carey is Nigerian.
An American woman.
I would say that visibly she would be identified as white by people who see her.
But at the time, were you identifying yourself as African American?
In that picture, during that time, no.
Your parents were asked this question this week, and they didn't have any trouble answering it. Here's what they said. She's clearly our birth daughter, and we're clearly Caucasian. That's just a fact. Your father went on to say she's a very talented woman doing work she believes in. Why can't she do that as a Caucasian woman, which is what she is?
Now, right there, you come from parents who are saying, nigga, I don't even care. I'm not against what you're doing. You're fighting for good causes that are beyond yourself, beyond your fucking complexion, your needs, your ethnicity, your culture, your heritage, everything. You're looking into someone else's problem and saying, let me help because I want to be a helpful deed to this movement or to these people or whatever the fuck. Or I made, like you said, I have a lot of white friends who identify with black people. They don't identify as black. They just identify with black people. They're Caucasian males. They're the whitest dudes in the world. Like mayonnaise white. Like super white. But deep down, 100% nigga. And I love it. Because I'm like, exactly. You're you. You're not trying to be somebody you're not. You're just a white dude who's a white dude. But nigga, you like a lot of nigga shit. Just like I like a lot of white shit. Historical, quote unquote. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, what's up, Tyler? Got this American Apparel Hollister shirt, buddy. Check out these fucking Wrangler jeans. I ain't about to go out my way to like try to like assimilate and make you feel some way because I fuck with the people I fuck with. Like, I don't wanna be that. You know, white people always be like, I have a white friend. I got a lot of white friends. I don't wanna be that guy, but I'm saying that's real shit. I got a lot of fucking white friends. And these are white dudes who are white. They love to hunt and golf and do all type of white dude shit. They love beer. You can easily buy a fucking liquor, but they'll go buy like 32 pack of beer because they're white. That's what they do. Niggas don't really. I mean, I can say all niggas don't drink beer. I'm just saying like a lot of niggas don't do that. We'll go buy a Henny before we do all that shit. That's what I'm saying. Like they do shit like that. They, you know what I mean? That's their thing. I got into rock and roll music because of my white friends. I got into a lot of shit because of my white friends. Be real. A lot of shit, to be honest. But for real. Just saying. So it's like her parents, they were supportive of her. They don't have a problem with her doing what she's doing. They're actually supportive of it. Like it's just dope. But like he said, why can't you do that as a white woman? It's actually more impactful. It actually is way more impactful. But now you lied. Not all your credibility is gone because you wanted to fit in. Sad.
How do you answer that question?
Well, first of all, I really don't see why they're in such a rush to whitewash some of the work that I have done and who I am and how I've identified. And this goes back to a very early age with my self-identification with the Black experience as a very young child.
When did it start?
I would say about 5 years old.
You began identifying yourself as African American?
I was drawing self-portraits with the brown crayon instead of the peach crayon and the black, black curly hair, and that was how I was portraying myself.
So it started way back then, Rachel. When did you start and I'll use the word, you can correct me if you don't like it, when did you start deceiving people and telling them you were black when you knew their questions were pointed in a different direction? When someone said to you back then, are you black or white? And you'd say, I'm black. You didn't say, I identify as black. You'd say, I'm black. When did you start deceiving people?
Well, I do take exception to that because it's a little more complex than me identifying as black or answering a question of, are you black or white? I was actually identified when I was doing human rights work in North Idaho as first transracial, and then when some of the opposition to some of the human rights work I was doing came forward and started, the next newspaper article identified me as being a biracial woman, and then the next article, when there were actually burglaries, nooses, etc., was this is happening to a black woman, and I never corrected.
Well, why didn't you correct it? You knew it wasn't true.
Yo, transracial is wild. And I saw that skit with Donald Glover on Atlanta on season 1. Paperboy. Oh my God, dude. Whoever that dude was, I think he's like a YouTube star. He's hilarious, man. He be cracking me up. But he played the transracial dude. He say, I'm 35 and I'm white. I was weak. Because that's real. Like, we can just pick races. We can just pick anything nowadays. I can just pick a gender. I can just pick anything. That is some real, like, blasphemy. People don't want to hear me when I talk about that type of shit, though, so I won't go there. But it's real life. Y'all niggas need to get your mind right with God. That's some real pride shit. Like, you know better. You know more than God. Like, oh, no, nigga, I was supposed to be born a girl. Whatever. Cool, we ain't about to go there. But I was supposed to be born black. I'm transracial. No, you're born white. Just be white. Help black people, be friends with black people, fuck black niggas, do what the fuck you want to do as a regular person. Nobody's telling you just because you're white that you have to, like, hang out with only white people. You can do everything black and still be the same white girl with blonde hair that was 16 years old in that picture. You can still be her and still be helping the black cause, doing missions, feeding niggas, fucking niggas, doing whatever the fuck makes your heart happy. You feel me? Ain't nobody judging you on that. People judging you on is the deception of. Like he said, why didn't you change it? It went from transracial, then people start calling you biracial. You didn't change that. Then people start saying you're black. Then you were like, fuck it, I ain't really about to check nobody. And they got a great question, like, why the fuck didn't you change? Like, check them on that. Why didn't you decide that? If someone was like, oh, this light-skinned nigga, oh, this, then eventually it went to like, oh, this, you know, Dominican-looking nigga. I'm like, I'm not Dominican, but thank you, Papi. Papito. Okay. But for real. Un momento, mommy. Slow up your tempo. You tripping. That's crazy. Like, why wouldn't you just be white? And why would you lie about it? Now you get caught lying. You're not taking no accountability. Women do not I'm going to say all women. A lot of women do not take accountability. Simple being like, yeah, I don't know. It just sounded good. It made, you know what I mean? I finally got accepted as a black person. I'm in a community. I'm in a culture. Hell yeah, I'm down for it. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah. I got accepted to the culture. I'm part of the community. You know, people identify me as black. I don't really get too much slack now from black people because I'm viewed as black, I guess. So they can't really just say anything like, she look white, but she could just be mixed. And we as black people, we know how mixed niggas come out. So we like, yeah, that's true. It can come out many shades. So, but let's see what she say, man.
Well, because it's more complex than, you know, being true or false in that particular instance.
But the cynics and the skeptics will say you didn't correct those reports.
I didn't correct those reports.
Because it worked for you. Because it helped you meet your goals. Is that fair?
Yep.
I don't necessarily think that's fair. I think over, not just at that time, but before then too, I have had to answer those who have seen me, and because I'm a black hairstylist, have styled my hair in many different ways.
She fucked a nigga when she had blonde hair. She was straight. He had dreads or braids. And Jaquan, in order for him to like save money, because she was always giving him money to get his hair done, to get his hair cut, she just said, well, I'll learn how to do dreads. That way I can kind of like bond with you. So she probably had like his black sister or like his black, like some black girl, like her neighbor or somebody, like, can you please show me how to do braids? That's how I started. Girl, since you know how to do braids, you could do sew-ins. She said, what's that? Girl, come here. Come here. Girl, grab one of them stocking caps. Yep, I'm gonna show you how to do this shit. Hold up. And from there, this bitch was like, get out of here. Whole fucking front lace wig, bitch. That fast. And she was like, I'm a black hairstylist. Like, no, you fucked and sucked a one nigga and started off as like a fucking rolling device. Like, how do I do cornrows? And then it went from there. Stop playing. So the dreads, you just kind of like twist them with beeswax?
My hair in many different ways have been identified as mixed, light-skinned, black, etc. And, you know, I've had to answer a lot of questions throughout my life.
You've changed your appearance. Your complexion appears darker than it did in the photos of you as a young lady. Have you done something to darken your complexion?
I certainly don't stay out of the sun, you know, and I also don't, as some of the critics have said, put on blackface as a performance.
Yeah, let me address that, because some people have.
Even though the critics said that, I wouldn't have said it. Especially in an interview with the the interviewer is like on my top, and he's gunning for me. You just gave him another question, and I think he was about to ask before I cut him off, but you just gave me another question, like, so blackface, you do know that's offensive, right? She's like, yes, I know it's offensive. The minstrel show, I already know. All that shit. But yeah.
Some people have said that the way you've changed your opinion is akin to putting on blackface. And Jonathan Capehart wrote in the Washington Post, blackface remains highly racist no matter how down with the cause a white person is. Do you understand what he means by that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, like I said, he probably wasn't even going to segue to that just at that moment. He probably had that in his notes to hit to later on and probably forgot about it. But as soon as that bitch said that, he said, oh. Have a fucking quote from a very reliable source who is not known as a credible liar. Sorry, Rach. He says, let's cold-blooded, bro.
Do you agree with it?
I have a huge issue with blackface. This is not some free birth of a nation mockery blackface performance. This is on a very real, connected level. How I've actually had to go there with the experience, not just a visible representation, but with the experience. And the point at which that really solidified was when I got full custody of Isaiah, and he.
So she lost her son Isaiah. Losing Isaiah. Was it losing that? She really wants a black experience. I don't understand what's going on here. Halle Berry was in a movie called Losing Isaiah, where she was a crackhead who had to fight to get custody of her son, and she won. She won. My favorite part is when she was singing that song. The ghetto jam is about to slam. That shit had me weak. She was getting arrested. She had the chorus over it, and they was like, "Stop moving." She was like, "Yo, let me stop, bro."
He said, "You're my real mom," and he's in high school, and for that to be something that is plausible. I can, certainly can't be seen as white and be Isaiah's mom.
Couple of quick points. There are reports that at one time in particular, you looked at a friend of yours, a guy named Albert Wilkinson, and you told friends of yours that he was your father. He is an African-American man who is clearly not your father. Was that done to enhance your resume as an African-American woman? Or was there another reason for that?
There's another reason, yeah. He actually approached me in North Idaho, and, we just we connected on, a very intimate level as family.
Oh, okay. That's her daddy. She got that black dick in Idaho. They was on a retreat. She was like, ain't that much black meat in Idaho, baby. Just these potatoes. I got meat and potatoes tonight. Black meat. African sausage. Kabasi. I don't know what the fuck she was on. But this bitch is caught, and instead of just being like accountability, yeah, he's like a father figure, but at the same time, I do obviously have a fucking father because y'all just interviewed him. You know what I mean? Let me just keep it real. She's still like, we met at a conference and we just connected, and I thought at that moment, like, you just remind me of a father figure that I've always wanted, a black dad.
But why point out an African-American man and say that is my father when you know that your father is a Caucasian man?
Albert Wilkerson is my dad. And any man can be a father. Not every man can be a dad.
Your lawsuit against Howard University in 2002, where you claim you were discriminated against because you were a pregnant white woman. Do you understand how people could hear that and say, here's another example? She says she identified herself as being African-American or black from a young age, but here's a case where she identified herself as a white woman because it worked for her under the circumstances.
Stupid.
The reasons for
white women in general do this all the time, and then you get caught and they still got a validation reason or still excuse. Like, you still have about to open your mouth and start to like give a fucking like an excuse, like a real validation for why you did that. Let's hear it.
My full tuition scholarship being removed and my teaching position as well, my TA position, were that other people needed opportunities, and you probably have white relatives and that that can afford to help you with your tuition. And I thought that was an injustice.
Would you make the same choices given all that's happened and given the fallout from it, but also the positive side of the discussion that has come out of it? Would you make the same choices you've made, Rachel?
I would.
And what do you want to do?
Bold,
what
bro.
Discussion do you want to prompt?
Well, as much as this discussion has somewhat been at my expense recently in a very sort of...
See, accountability, bro. Like, bitch, take accountability for your fucking actions. Okay? You conned people. You lied. You masqueraded as something because in that moment, it got you what the fuck it needed to get you. You became the NAACP president, and to be honest, the way you're making it seem like, it's almost like you did like a sick joke and went home and laughed about this shit. Because I had no clue. I knew about the Howard situation, because that's why I made the Howard joke, but I had no clue that you tried to sue the school and claim that it's because you were white. And then when he asked you about it, it seemed like you were using that in that moment because it just helped you. And then you made up this black father when you clearly have a white father who's alive and kicking, still in your fucking life, obviously, or still just around, you know what I'm saying? And then long story short, you literally are now trying to validate everything you've done. You have not taken any accountability in saying, hey, man, I fucked up. I really wanted to be a part of this thing, and I have identity issues. I have problems with myself. I've always had problems with myself. It's low-key something I'm working through therapy. If I'm not in therapy, I'm about to go to therapy. But one thing is, I have been dealing with this for so fucking long. And now I kind of felt in this community accepted. a lot of white kids I know, my white friends who are very, very much white in every aspect of just mayonnaise white, say shit like this all the time. Like, I hate white people. And I know what he means, because it's not what he's not talking about his own people. He loves his own people. He's saying in general, like, I hate the perception that we get. I hate that. It's like I say all the time, like, I hate niggas. Of course I don't hate niggas, but I hate niggas. I hate them because, like, to everybody else, you have a certain perception of me off rip. You think because of how I look, who I am, maybe my record, because I do have a fucking record, that this is my end all. I have nothing else to offer this world. I'm just a fucking criminal. You know what I'm saying? But hear me out, though. You feel what I'm saying? Hear me out. In all honesty, her being honest in these moments might have saved her. Because we all would identify with her and say, nah, bro, I feel you, man. Like, I get it now because you're being candid. You're being honest. Honesty will save you, bro. Even if you're wrong. Just being real in that moment, it's hard for a nigga. It's really hard, unless you're a shitty-ass person, to look at somebody and say, nah, fuck that, nigga. You was just open and real with me. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Like, I mean, unless they really fucked you over. But if it's just something like this where it's like, should have kept it real with us and say, yo, like, I'm having issues. You dig what I'm saying? I'm having issues identifying, self-identification issues. And I found that black people, the black community, accept me more, accept me better. So from there, I use it to my benefit. I identify with them because I like the culture. I like everything about black people and everything else. I think black men are attractive. Black women are beautiful. So from there, I pretend to be a black woman. Simple and plain. I don't know if she adopted a black kid or not, because she's talking about Isaiah, her son. But, you know, I'm assuming she adopted a black kid. Because I don't think she get no white kid to help her situation out. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna see what else she got to say, but it's really pretty much final. Finito for this bitch.
Very sort of viciously inhumane way come out of the woodwork, and the discussion is really about what it is to be human, and I hope that really can drive at the core of definitions of race, ethnicity, culture, self-determination, personal agency, and ultimately empowerment.
But when you say you would make the same choices, wouldn't you go back and perhaps be a little more transparent about certain things in your life, or correct some of the things that were said about you that you knew to be incorrect?
You know, there are probably a couple interviews that I would do a little differently if circumstances, in retrospect, you know, I knew what I know now. But overall, you know, my life has been one of survival, and the decisions that I have made along the way, including my identification, have been to survive and to, you know, carry forward in my journey and life continuum.
You resigned your position at the NAACP out in Spokane. Do you feel you could have been as effective? And by the way, you should get a lot of credit. A lot of people feel you breathed new life into that chapter. Could you have been as successful? Could you have had as big an impact had you been a Caucasian woman as opposed to being identified as an African-American woman?
I don't know. I guess I haven't had the opportunity to experience that in those shoes. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
And finally, your two sons, Isaiah and Franklin, are here in the studio.
They are.
If I were to ask them if you're a black woman or a Caucasian woman, how do you think they'd answer?
Well, I actually was talking to one of my sons yesterday, and he said, Mom, racially, you're human, and culturally, you're black. And, you know, so, I mean, we've had these conversations over the years. I do know that they support the way that I identify, and they support me. Ultimately, we have each other's back. We're the Three Musketeers.
Rachel Dolezal. Rachel, thanks for talking to us this morning. I appreciate it.
It's crazy. And them black kids got adopted solely because they fit her fucking, like, her profile. You know what I'm saying? What she was trying to basically instill. She wanted people to look at those kids and believe that those kids were hers. And the ideal is you're too fucking light. Like the one kid, maybe with the glasses, they both had glasses, but the one little younger kid, maybe because he's a little lighter. But the other nigga, you know for sure, that ain't your kid. I could do better as your kid than them niggas, for real. My daddy was Nigerian. You see, you know what I mean? You kind of see the resemblance to be my mama. But nah, man, that's just sad that she had to go through that. It's just sad. I hope that obviously she's dealing with this. But the problem was, like I said, it's sad she had to go through it, not because of what she went through. It's sad that even in this aspect, her pride, her validation, her lack of accountability, her lack of responsibility, her, like, I hate women like that. Like, I hate men like that too, but I really hate when women, like, deceive you, get caught in deceiving you, and still act like they weren't deceiving you. Like, I don't have that ability. Like, once I get caught, I'm caught. That's how most niggas are. Like, we do the stupidest shit when we get caught. What you talking about? I ain't even do nothing. I don't know that girl. That ain't my drugs. That's his gun. But we, you know what I'm saying? We play stupid because it's like we already caught. It's hard to not play stupid when you caught, because it's like, bro, you caught red-handed. And he asked her, would you go? She said out her mouth, I wouldn't go back and change anything. He said, now knowing what you know, you still wouldn't go back and change anything? Well, maybe a couple interviews, a couple things I say, I'll change the wording in the context, but bitch, just say you're white. Like, he said it. He was like, do you think you could have done, like, people in North Carolina, I mean, I think it was Virginia, I don't know where she's at, whatever chapter she's in NCAA, they're like, yo, you did a great job. You're phenomenal. We loved her. And he was like, so why couldn't you be that same person but be white? Have them love you the same way? You probably still been president. She said, I don't know. I haven't experienced it as a white woman. I wouldn't be able to tell you if I would have been helpful. Like, that's real identity issues, man. It's a real medical problem that needs to be sorted out. It's not even trying to be funny. It started off as a joke, but now it's like just looking at her face and hearing her talk, and even like her son. Yeah, of course your son's gonna say that you're fucking feeding them and clothing them, nigga. They're orphans. They're fucking in foster care before you pick them up. Yeah. Mama, you human and you identify as black. Fuck, you got a house over his head, clothes on his back, nigga. Trust me, I got orphan friends. I tell you, like, a stable household, I don't give a fuck who you are. As long as you loving me, sure. Mama, I got your back. Yep. We riding. Where else we going? But it's just sad that she can't take accountability. And just, you know, I think she would have had a redeemable moment just by keeping it real, being honest, being candid, not lying. Just being like, you know what, I fucked up. Let me try better. You know what I'm saying? Let me try to redeem myself. And I have problems. I have issues. That's why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to hurt nobody. I'm not trying to, like, yeah, because, like, in this moment, you still sound like you're masquerading. Because, like you said, it worked for you when you were white in fucking Howard. It worked for you. It was a thing. You want to do a lawsuit because you were a white woman. But now, all of a sudden, your whole life, you've been identifying as black since you were 5. You went to college at Howard. You worked at Howard. Stop playing, bro. You didn't put on this Donald Trump fucking clay face. It's obvious, bro. But don't play people like they're stupid. Just be honest and say, I got problems, man, that y'all might not understand. So that's why y'all judging me. And then it's kind of hard for us to judge you because it's a problem we don't understand. So we all look at it and say, well, at least she's being honest about that part because we know it's a problem. She's like, nope, I wouldn't change shit. That's all I got for y'all today on this subject, man. Rachel Dolezal, Dolezal, yeah, I don't know what the fuck you say her name. The identifying as black. If you're transracial, or if you identify as something else, or if you're not, and you know what nigga that is, leave a comment, leave a like button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, you know the gang. It's called media. Jiggy Jeff. We out.